Hello there, and welcome to Thank the Maker, a podcast about heroes, princesses, scoundrels, hokey religions, ancient weapons, and all things Star Wars. My name's Nick Gambarian.
And I am Sicky McStickerson, Mike Forrester, coming down with another ailment this holiday season as we transition to off the romance and now straight into St. Patrick's Day. But it is all about Mando, Grogu, and Jason's here.
Hey, what's up? It's your producer, Jason. We got a trailer, man. We're back, baby. We're back on the big screen.
What was the let's get the initial reactions going. Now, first of all, you're going to notice that Adam the Skull is not here. Now, that is for good reason, not because he did not fall off a cliff. None of that. Died on impact. He's actually and they had a great show. They had a album release show. It went awesome. I'm still enjoying watching all this footage, but Adam is going back to the original pact that started Thank Maker, which is no trailers from this point on. So I of course want to hear both of your opinions on if you feel like, now that you've seen the trailer, which I think we could arguably say at this point, this could be the final trailer we get. It tells enough story without telling exactly what's happening, but it gives us enough to talk about and get an idea that there's something going on here. Gentlemen, what is your thought on the trailer?
I watched it in bed early this morning. I'm on Pacific, time, so I think it was out a little bit after I got up. So me and Desi watched it in bed because Desi worked on it, so she's stoked. I'm stoked.
Desi.
Yeah, I was like, that was cool. It gave us a little bit more than what we knew. Like it's the stuff that we knew. Here's a little bit more information about that. So I'm, cautiously optimistic. I think a lot of people out there are just be like, just prepare for it to be a fun movie. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's the right move, but okay.
Okay. And then Jason, you are a resident trailer guy, so give us your thoughts on the trailer.
I am. I'm a trailer guy. It was a finely crafted trailer. Sounded good. Looked good. To kind of go off on what Nick said, I think that we can all agree that the main mission for this film is to get people excited about seeing Star Wars back in theaters again, and by extension, this trailer is making you feel good about seeing this film. So it's all high vibes. It's all mostly fun, bright stuff, fast action. Looks colorful and interesting.
I feel like, from my perspective of watching this, knowing that Adam has the pact of no trailers, I feel like it's tough because it's like we got to do this for clicks too. Not the show, but I got to put something in the thumbnail, and I felt bad being like, all right, Adam's not watching anything, but I had to put a character in the thumbnail. So when I sent it over to the group, I was like, well, okay, shoot. But I think for everyone who knows, Filoni got a Filoni. We are getting throwbacks after throwbacks, references to Clone Wars episodes. It feels very on point for the Favreau Filoni show. But from Nick, I'm with you. I feel like we still haven't gotten too much. I think we have gotten just I want to say like expanded conversations, expanded versions of what we could already maybe jump to logical assumptions. But at the same time, is this actually a good thing in terms of, we have all said that modern trailers in some ways to market the film, there is the Netflix mentality of being like, we have to say the plot, we have to do this, we have to remind people of the plot. Is this actually a good thing that we still don't know too much?
Yeah. Well, here's my one thing I wanted to bounce off you guys. Every single season of The Mandalorian, the trailers we've gotten have been for like the first half of the season. So is that something, just the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior? Is this possibly the opening scene and a couple of other little things just to introduce some characters here and there, and there is a bigger plot? I would love to put all my eggs in that basket. I don't know, but just because of how they've promoted specifically season 2 and 3, we weren't getting, same thing with Ahsoka, right? Like
we were blind after episode 2 or 3, right?
Yeah. So please let that be what is going on here. Because you think about it, there's a lot of snow scenes, right, so far. And then now in this, that was a thing already. And now with this one, it seems like there's a little bit more of a swampy feel, which brings the huts in, so maybe this is just like act 1, act 2, and act 3 is something bigger. We'll see, because they didn't mention the Empire in this that much. It was mentioned, but it seemed a little bit more hut based, and I just can't imagine like they're showing huts as the big bad and also showing the fight scene, like in the trailer. That's a bit much. So I feel like hopefully there's some misdirect there.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I feel like well, you know what? Can we just watch this dang thing? That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like let's just watch it and then let's talk through it, because we have thoughts. Do you have a theory yet on what the plot is, Nick, based on what you've seen? Jason, I'm curious your thoughts too, because I like that.
Zero idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's hard to tell, and that's what makes it so interesting. I think that the tidbit in this that gives me the most traction about it having a larger implications on the larger arc is the inclusion of the Shadow Council, which I'm stoked about. I think that's great, because that's what's going to push this into the future.
Are we all kind of in agreement that this seems to be the most modern version of the Shadow Council?
Well, we've seen the Shadow Council, right? In season 3.
Yes.
Did that look like them though?
But they were all still pretty imperial in their appearance, like Paleon and like all the, like they're all wearing imperial. Like this felt almost more like warlordy.
What if it was like one of them and their crew? Like one of the Shadow Council members and then their crew. So
yeah. Let's watch the trailer. I feel like we're gonna talk all this through. I'm too geeked. I'm getting excited watching this and talking about this. So Jason, go ahead and let's cue this thing up. Opening shot is great. Y-wing. I'm looking now. Here's my thing. Is this Wedge Antilles droid? Is Carson Teva Wedge Antilles? Are we like still getting a little tease of the Rogue Squadron?
Could be.
Just saying. Okay.
I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll
Absolute cinema.
I'm looking for a
Ardinian. It's confirmed Martin Scorsese. An Ardinian to Favreau's Rio Durant from Solo. Okay, so this guy looks to me more warlordy than Imperial. Yeah.
But he is wearing the Imperial rank badge, at least. Still.
Sure. Yep. Okay, so we see her speak. We saw this at the Celebration trailer.
We have that new mouse droid.
Yep.
These new droids.
So these are, yep, this looks like those mercenary droids. They're like upgraded HKs. And then, of course, we see Embo here. Now, this looks like this is a completely different scene. Okay. You got to put your paintball gun on, kid.
Adorable.
With the Enzellans. This feels like a Yoda moment. Yep. It's literally a dartboard.
That's so cool.
On the floor, right?
Yeah.
And this working title is This is a Dragon Snake from Clone Wars Season 3. I like this idea. And then that's really cool.
Baby Rodian? Yeah, you gotta love it.
Hops in, puts on the thrusters, kaboom. So Yoda, I mean, Baby Yoda kind of speaks here. You know what I mean? Like Grogu's got his coups that seem to be more, I don't know, man.
Let's save the rest for after dinner.
Classic. This kid loves to eat. Okay. Let's go through this. We got to break this down. Okay. Jason, you're one of the flyboys. What is your thoughts when you see a bunch of T-65s coming in with a Y-wing
and one Y-wing? I mean, awesome. I mean, this is something that I think a lot of folks were talking about whenever we got this commercial for the commercial, the teaser for the trailer, which is not uncommon these days,
Yeah.
where we saw this classic, Apocalypse Now, silhouette sunset shot that's been in a bunch of things. The neat thing is that now they're actually referencing themselves because this existed in The Force Awakens. So
Yeah.
we've made it to the point where we're now referencing the sequels. So
remember the thing that we did. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's
that,
beautiful.
right? You love that. Look at this one.
You remember? You remember the X-wing,
right? Now you love this.
exactly.
Okay, so this is kind of my like crazy theory is that like this Wedge's droid has a red top, right? But then if you go to the toys, there's various versions of it. But the most important part is that the dome has red on it.
Yes.
So I'm like looking at this thing going, okay, it's a red droid astromech rolling up. It's an R2. It's not an R5 style. Rolling up to this X-wing. There's a part of me that's like, we know that Carson Teva is in this due to the Lego leaks. I thought I was going to see him in the trailer. That's fine. But this tells me that like maybe, we know that Dave is a big fan of Paul and then that was a curious thing to come out the other day about like the information about, oh yeah, the movie's written, like we have it written. We just need to make updates. So there's a part of me that's like, is this kind of a little timeline tester to establish where the New Republic is? Wild theory. Don't look too far into it.
Could be cool. I mean, we know that at least Teva's astromech is going to be in it, if only based on the Lego leak. He's got a green and silver, right? Yep. And that is included in that C-65 set that was released. So
he's been in Mando. Obviously, was he in Ahsoka? Right?
Who?
Carson Teva.
Oh yeah. He was in Mando season 3. Yeah, because remember he lands on he lands.
And he was he was also in Ahsoka.
Yeah. So then why would he be in this?
100%. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next shot here. Okay, so this is Jason. What are your thoughts on this? You and I, of course, immediately tagged that like the whistling birds are gone.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. We've got new gauntlets for Mando here.
Yeah, that's actually looking at that gauntlet there on the right side because he lost. He was removed from him in season 3, and I guess he's not getting him back. So
not getting him back. So of course, like classic Razor Crest suit up. So the idea, of course, is either Zeb tells him like, I got you I heard you like to fly this, whatever. Or is this like an Anzellan gift, or the Anzellans are good at finding things? Like, what is this? But this looks like, to me, this looks like a Delphi base.
It does. Yeah. I mean, with the palm trees, this sort of rotating action on the engine, that seems like something new, a new detail, which is kind of neat.
Right.
One of our patrons, you have to forgive me, I can't remember who it was. Someone on the Thank the Maker Discord had floated the idea that perhaps this Razor Crest was put back together by the Anzellans for him based on the yellow markings on this ship matching the yellow markings on the Anzellan land speeder and ship that is a Lego set as well.
Okay. That's very interesting.
I mean, and being that this is a movie, I was going to ask you guys. I'm answering my own question. Actually, I'm answering on behalf of you guys my own question. I was going to say,
can't wait to hear this.
I'll see if I agree. Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you think that we were going to get, a decent scene of the explanation of how this exists? But I think being that it's a movie, we're getting like a line or two.
I have a feeling that it's going to reference something of like all of the things that Mando has lost on this journey. And I think being that like this was the introduction for him, I think that for people who have stuck around for this, they're going to get some kind of explanation, or he's going to show up and go, Razor Crest, I used to have one of those. And someone looks over and is like, whatever helps the cause, like something along those. It could be as simple as that, Nick. But I don't know. I feel like we're kind of owed. I mean, what happens to the N1? Does he trade it?
My random, like, just ruminating thought today, I give it to Grogu. That's Grogu's ship. He's got his little pod in there already,
Sure.
Like,
he's already practicing with the buttons here.
He wants to rip.
So I feel like let him have that.
Okay. So regardless, we have our a Razor Crest style ship back. I mean, it is it's a Razor Crest, right? I mean, let's just call it what it is. So this is pretty cool, but I think more so the biggest thing is this the issue that I think that they're going to struggle to get over with is that it is kind of going back to the whole Star Wars doesn't have consequences. If we like something a lot or if people like it, we'll bring it back. You know what I mean? This is my only concern, because I feel like this specific shot of Grogu being a little menace inside the Razor Crest is an ongoing gag with these two in the Favreau Filoni experiment. So we'll see how this turns out. Personally, I mean, it's cool to see, but let's see.
Yeah, exactly. And the line here from Din is, hey, never touch the buttons. He pouts, of course, and then we're off.
Well, it looks great, though.
Taking off here.
Maybe
In
I
the
could,
atmosphere, and we have our Lucasfilm.
maybe I could sell my unopened Hasbro Razor Crest now. Maybe the market's up.
Market could be up
Could be
for
up,
repaints.
finally, yeah.
Okay, so where do we feel like we are here? What's the idea? Does it matter where we are? But this feels to me like this is I don't know. Are we Coruscant Underworld? What do you think?
So we saw this same scene, the city night. This is where we saw the Halcyon Star Cruiser logo reflected in the street, and I think that we were thinking, Coruscant, something like that. Now that we have, and we'll get into this later, a little bit of storytelling that tells me that this could possibly be where those Dejart creatures are living as well. So maybe this is Ord Mantell.
It could be Ord Mantell, or it could be Nar Shaddaa,
Nar Shaddaa,
which also could work, because it's very Vegas-y in that approach. We've seen multiple versions of it, lots of neon, which I think at this point between Dayu, Nar Shaddaa, if you're looking at some Underworld of Coruscant, like we're getting more used to seeing these like heavily infested planets of modern, what I would think would be like the modern Tokyo style Blade Runner science fiction. So this could be interesting.
Yeah, we have down on the street level, we have this food stall. The Arabic there translates to Hugo's bestseller. And we'll meet.
That's great.
We'll meet Hugo in here. Here's a New Republic credit. And there's Hugo.
Okay. So, Nick, you're a movie guy. Jason, you're a movie guy.
The expert.
How did we get Martin Scorsese to do this? Does he have sharp teeth?
Yeah. First of all, does this Enzelin look larger than other ones, right?
No. He's an Ardinian.
Oh, Ardinian. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Come on. Do you have a podcast about Star Wars? What's going on here?
I'm getting my species mixed up. I don't know. I don't know what the connection is, because this isn't like a, I would say if George Lucas was involved, there's probably a connection with Scorsese and Lucas, but I don't know.
I think to me it is someone put this scene in as a tribute to Jon Favreau really getting involved in Star Wars and live action, because for people who are like, why are we blowing up about this? Well, it's Martin Scorsese doing a cameo in a Star Wars movie, which makes zero sense other than the fact that we're connecting legendary directors at this point, but also that Martin Scorsese has clearly a good sense of humor still. But this particular species is the same that Jon Favreau had in the Heist Crew, that Jon Favreau voice in the Heist Crew for Solo, Rio Durant, which has one of my, what's she like, Han? Does she have sharp teeth? Love that. Everything about that. And that's the, pick up your pants. He can, Han realizes there's something off because he, uses his back arms to pick up the pants of the soldier outfit. So Rio was an awesome character that I think this is a tribute to Favreau in some ways.
Yeah. And then I guess we are to assume, based on the sign on this stall, that the character's name is Hugo, obviously named after the Scorsese film from 2011, Hugo.
Look at that.
So
that's
there you
great.
go. Everything in a nice little bundle there. The exchange here between Din and Hugo, he said that he's looking for some information. Hugo says, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want. And Din says, I'm looking for a hut.
And the price is not high enough.
He closes. He says we're closed for the night. So that's it.
So in that reaction, what does that tell? What are both your assumptions? We jump to the next thing of going either the Hutts have said don't ask about us. We're essentially the shadow people who are running this, or what are your thoughts when you see this like guttural reaction of being like, I'm not talking?
Well, that probably puts that scene on Nal Hutta, right? Like, wouldn't you think?
Could be.
Or at least in Hutt space somewhere.
Yeah.
Because mind you, the last time we
gangsters, like people don't in every way you would like describe a gangster and how they work, whether it's literally like The Sopranos or whatever. If you're going to like talk about Tony Soprano or ask where someone is like that, like people are going to be scared. So
the last time we saw them was on Moss. I have a Star Wars podcast. What am I talking about? Was Mos Espa, right? Because at the end of Book of Boba Fett, we didn't see where they left. The last time we saw them was when they approached the Jabba's palace, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, that's when we saw them, and they were being carried around on that platform.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so at this point, to what you're saying, Nick, if you're saying I'm looking, I want to talk to Al Capone, he's just as intimidating in Cleveland as he is in Chicago, as he is in Milwaukee, right? So this tracks that the Hutts don't ask, don't inquire. The Hutts pay everybody. The Hutts will take care of you, whatever it's going to be. I like this idea. And then we get, of course, into the Hutt logo, which specifically this is Jabba's logo. I don't know. Please, someone in the chat, is this a generic Hutt logo? But this one to me says Jabba, which is his tattoo on his arm.
That's right. And then to the left and right of this sort of door that's slowly opening as Din stands before it are those two stop motion mechanical sort of guards that we saw in the teaser that I think we were able to determine came from Tippett Studio.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Kate, our friend Kate, and the entire crew at Tippett Studios that continues to crush it. And I love that we keep going back to them for more classic Star Wars animation. This is awesome. And then, of course, here we go. First introduction to the Hutts. They have Huttese across the bottom here. I would love to be able to figure out what this says, the translation. We'll get to that. But yeah, so this almost looks like this is their version of their palace.
Yeah.
Hard cut
to the Shadow Council. We have this table. They're in large room, 3 windows overlooking. It seems like this is the snow planet. It looks like it's very sort of flat light, bright white coming in, and 2 Imperial snow troopers guarding the room there.
So from your perspective, we see a snow planet. We have a couple combination of snow planets that we have seen before. Obviously, everyone is jumping to Hoth, but for being a desolate planet, there is no, like, it would seem odd that there would be this Imperial base, or at least this meeting ground. Echo base does not seem like it's got this level of fanciness to it.
Yeah.
It seems more Bad Batch to me. So my guess is this might be Eridu, where Tarkin is from. And this would have been where Tech died, where they attempted to sabotage the Empire. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, that tracks. I had been sitting with the idea over the last week whenever people were sort of thinking that it could be Hoth, which I think is a little too on the nose for this film. Even though, I mean, the Imperials won on Hoth, so they could have done whatever they wanted on that planet after they eradicated the rebel influence there. The thing that's very interesting to me in this shot, and it might be looking a little bit too much into it, but if you see on the left side of your screen there, the second person in from the left at that table is female. with long braided hair, and I wonder if that might be Ray Sloan.
Oh, that's a great call.
I think it would be neat if it was. Now, of course, she ends up becoming very instrumental in the creation of the First Order down the line. So
that tracks. The other idea that I was thinking of, because I remember, like this is the other thing. Favreau is going to Dave and he goes, "Hey, give me a couple of these ideas." And Dave's like, "Let's go to everything we can reference in the Clone Wars." Another planet that I was thinking is Scipio, right? Which is it has the vault of the banking clan, and it's also where Rush Clovis uncovers the plot where the contents of the vault are being like used throughout different accounts. So when the Separatists evade, that's where Clovis is killed in the whole thing, and so that makes me think that maybe if this is a banking planet or this has a vault where they have resources or funds that the Imperials are like, we're going back to it, this very well could be Scipio as well, which would be a Clone Wars reference for Dave Filoni to do his thing.
Next here we have one of the warlords. This is credited as Johnny Coyne, who also played this character in season 3 of Mando. Same guy.
Okay, so man, I don't remember this guy in season 3.
Yeah, he was. He was. I believe he was wearing an officer's hat in the other scene, but it's been confirmed to be the same actor. Yes. Yeah, so there's some continuity between those Shadow Council players.
I mean, the drip is insane.
Yeah, it looks good. Badass.
I like that. Okay, so what do we think though? I mean, is this leaning into more Scipio at this point, that this could be a hideaway, storeway vault planet? What do you think? I don't know. We don't need to theorize. What is this?
I don't know. It's a place that's good for walkers and for snowtroopers. I think that's
good point. That's a good call.
So, back on Adelphi, this is Sigourney Weaver's hand. This is Colonel Ward handing over a deck of cards. These are sabacc cards with, I guess, art of photos of wanted men on them.
That's kind of a flex. I like that. That's like a new rebel thing of being like, it feels like 9. What's that wine that Snoop Dogg has? 9 crimes or whatever, or with all the different like notorious gangsters on it. I'm like, that's kind of I like that.
It's like the New Republic's version of a puck, right?
Ooh, yeah. Good call. I like that. Okay.
And Din's response here is, "We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards." And then little Grogu gives a little salute there.
Grogu being Grogu. And of course, like, he's definitely not hiding the fact that like the Mudhorn signet is like this. He's got wrist rocket, he's got a wrist gauntlet, and he has the chest. So Mando, I mean, he's suited up and almost looks like he's got a little pouch here, which like whatever that could be. So I think Mando is for snacks. Yes, absolutely. It is. It keeps one French macaroon that you just put right in there, and that's for after he does stuff. He just takes a snack on it. Great shot here. I love this.
Yeah, first use of looks like Din's got himself a flamethrower. Did he have a flamethrower in the show? I can't recall.
Yeah,
is this something he did. Okay, all right, all right.
Yep. Because remember, that's always like where he holds it out and fries. So, but what's noticeable for me here is that finally these are the remnant snowtroopers that do not have their cowls on, versus when we saw that snow planet with the Shadow Council, they had their cowls. Yeah. So this either tells me that this is like an outpost, they're not supposed to be here, or they're already too late. The important people left. That's what tells me about these poor guys that got stuck around. And leave your equipment at home. You just got to get there.
Yeah. But to your point, guys, this does look like a pretty opulent location. Definitely not a bunker for sure.
Yeah. I like that.
Back to Adelphi base, we have X-Wings, U-Wings, Y-Wings. I will complain myself that there is a conspicuous lack of A-Wings.
Agreed. Hard agree here, Jason.
They're out on a mission.
Bummer. Yeah, that's right. They're probably the only ones doing work around there.
So the Ewing is dropping in. I think we can assume at this point that's Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be the case. If we see that Ewing with the Rogue One colors, the more blue on it, that we see that gets kind of, I think it gets destroyed at the Battle of Scarif, right? With the big blue stripes on it.
Yeah.
So this seems like Zeb ship, if I'm guessing.
Here, Colonel Ward again. This is, of course, Sigourney Weaver. She's got that 4-pip red rank badge on her jacket there, signifying that she is an Army colonel. And that New Republic logo on her left shoulder. Yeah, and she's basically telling Din here that she wants his help and that it isn't about revenge. That this is about preventing another war.
Foreshadowing.
Now, this is droid vision. This is what we are to find out is what a mouse droid is seeing, going after little Grogu here. And he lifts it up with the Force, and he's about to smash the heck out of it. But first, this is a new mouse droid.
It looks like a souped up version that would exist on, say, a snowy planet that cannot, that has more rugged terrain. It's colored white. You can see the snow over the ground in the cargo bay. And it's just got some, it's got some huge wheels on it compared to the little hidden ones, the other that we see on the Death Star and various points.
Little Grogu with his eyes closed, concentrating, and then smashes that thing. And we see one of the wheels roll by him. Okay, here we go. Some of these droids here. Now, I was perceiving these as being the HK droids that we saw in Mando Season 2 and Ahsoka.
Yep. I don't know if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you that this would seem logical because of the capes and that, but that they have these what was part of the Black Series reveal? It's like a mercenary droid, as they called it, right?
Yeah, and it was based on like a B1 battle droid.
Yeah. And then so it looks, Nick, they're here. They're on Batuu.
I mean, I don't think it is, but that top right little,
I'm just kidding.
Thing is,
they put that in there just to piss you off. Could be. So then they have these, like Hunter and I were talking about these in the chat this morning, where they almost look like a combination of either like cloud cars and vulture droids, because the backs almost look like they kick forward. This also makes me think that we've seen some kind of skiff-ish thing here, probably in Clone Wars, but there's something about this. Looks like it's a droid or an autonomous vehicle, but like these things shoot out and it's in a goofy shape. It seems like the whole planet is run by droids, which seems...
There's a lot of motion blur on these every time we see them, but it doesn't seem like there's an obvious cockpit on these things.
Until the crash.
Mm-hmm. Which we'll get to here shortly. Here's a shot of a few of them taking off. I think that these things, Mike, may be the ships that maybe we had interpreted as being TIE interceptors from the teaser.
Yeah.
They might be these things.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Definitely wrong on that one. So keep going. We have classic hyperspace shot here.
Driving in the Midwest at 2 a.m. in the winter.
Here's our first look at Embo.
Oh, man. Okay, so this looks like Navarro to me. This looks like the hut. This looks like where Din and Grogu are. So this makes me either think that Embo...
Oh, like that's their house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good call.
Yeah, that's what I think. So like this makes me think that like maybe Embo is coming to take Grogu, and this is kind of what leads into the huts are, I'm going to make you hurt and blah, blah, blah. But there's something about, like, I can't think of a reason of why Embo would exist as a notorious bounty hunter that's feared, respected by other bounty hunters, that wouldn't involve taking someone of importance. And I couldn't think of, if Din is out here doing laundry lists for the new Republic, if the Hutts want to play dirty and take his kid, which seems like a very gangster thing to do, you hire Embo.
Here's Din obviously being brought into. I think that we are to perceive that this is before the Hutt twins, and he is sort of forcibly unmasked. His helmet is ripped off of his head here.
Right. So this is one of those mercenary droids that's behind him pulling it off. Now there's of course the shot between going that was part of the creed, right? That was a big thing with last year. Has your helmet ever been forcibly removed, not from your own intention, right? So this is kind of another one of those examples of like Din breaking his creed and going, how do I react to it from here? So this is
And
kind
it
of
was caught on camera. That's pretty embarrassing. We're seeing
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
somewhere Bo-Katan is like, I knew it. I knew it.
I took a screenshot of it. We put it on YouTube. It's embarrassing.
We're gonna have to go take a
phones these days, you know.
100%. You got to jump back into the waters, man. We got to go look for that mythosaur again. Shot from Embo from the front. He looks amazing. I hope there is this is Dorian or someone in this costume, because like this thing looks so cool. He looks awesome. And congratulations, Nick. Your Constable Zuvio toy is going through the roof on eBay right now.
I only have one.
Shout out David Neth. Are you working on this one yet? We need a great costume.
That's true. I agree.
So, all right. Grogu and okay. Here's a great shot of the twins, and this is where they're saying, "You will suffer, and then it will be his turn." And I think that we're to assume that they are speaking about Grogu.
So he's holding Din's helmet, which makes me think that we might get this moment where like he smashes it or squeezes it or does something to show like maybe the power of that the Hutts are nothing to mess with. But there's something very like, looking at a Jedi's weapon or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like a very classic case of Snoke looking at, Rey's lightsaber. So this is good, but I'm assuming, let's go to the next slide from here. So Pedro Pascal, this guy knows how to brood. I gotta say it, right? But this definitely looks like he's gonna rip. He's like, I'm gonna annihilate you guys.
May 22nd is our date card. Now we have this little commando-esque gearing up sequence with Grogu as he puts on his little goo shooter.
Love a montage.
Yeah. And then he cinches up the strap on his little chest protector there. Some cool POV fuselage mounted footage on the Razor Crest. Here's our Anzellans. And there's that sort of yellow livery that they have on their ships that gave someone the idea that maybe they had a hand in getting that Razor Crest ready for.
That's interesting. And we did get one of the names of the other Anzellans, which I thought was kind of funny. From one of the toys, but I won't say that on here. I think everyone needs to.
Okay.
Maybe that is, hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Maybe this little unit is what the Phantom is to the Ghost. Maybe this is a little
there you go.
Razor Quest little transport.
Plugs in. Yeah. I like it. I like it. So this feels reflective. This is a Dagobah. This is Rey. When we see Rey for the first time, where she's got all the things floating around her and you see her up in the air. This is a reflective moment. So this could be at any point in the movie. Like this is one of those things where I go, is it at the end? Is it, he knows that he's going off to train. I don't know what this is, but this is a classic Jedi moment.
Yeah. Nothing says Star Wars like a good swamp. This is the end of a particular sequence where Grogu is swimming under the water, and you see Din come over and scoop him up out of the water. Here's Rod of the Hutt on this in this arena that I think that this is the first time any of us had noticed that it looks like a Dejarik table. How cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah,
great.
I love that. This kind of feels like the Thor Ragnarok moment. Two gladiators get in. Now, either Rada is here by his own accord, or he's here because he's being forced to be here. This is my theory of if Rada is this continuous champion, why is he here, right? If he is legacy of Jabba, if he has all of these riches of what Jabba is doing here, this would seem weird that if he was so interested in being here, that why wouldn't he care if his weird aunt and uncle came and took over his palace and his riches? So there's a part of me that thinks that he's here for a reason, but this is and he's got what looks to be like a modified version of the Gamorrean axe, which I think is pretty cool.
Mhm. And here, Din in the ring fighting with him using his his whip and his grappling hook to get the better of Rada. Now here's this new character that we've never seen, that some folks have said could possibly be coming from Legends. Nick, what did you say? What did you hear about this one?
Alex said it was I forget what the name was, but it was like Yoda's master from Legends.
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. Maybe. Absolutely.
The art didn't look like it, but it could just be like one of those things where they're like referencing that, you know.
This looks like a puppet. This looks like this looks practical to me. It's pretty cool. I don't know. This is interesting. But of course the thought of like, it almost looks like he's like in a, is this the swamp where he's found? And this is kind of a mysterious creature that comes across him while he's meditating. It has like a Ewok village kind of a look to it. I have no idea, but the words that he speaks are ominous, right? It's very Luke in Dagobah.
Yeah, very much so. This creature says to him, "Are you scared?" Grogu kind of mimes a little, "Yeah, I'm scared." And he says, "You should be."
Or is this helping Embo after they take him? Is this one of those things where it's, a group of, because last time we saw Embo, they were kind of rolling with a group of bounty hunters, right? And this makes me think that this could be Nick, to your point that we talked about originally, we have no idea when this movie, when these scenes are taking place, or if this is the first 20 minutes of the movie.
I mean, they could have stopped off somewhere to refuel or whatever, and Din leaves Grogu with this thing, and Grogu's like, "This place is weird," and like senses or something. Yeah.
Yep.
I just got to say that every time I think about, Yoda saying, or Luke saying, "I'm not scared," and Yoda saying, "You will be." Now that bad lip reading has totally messed up my memory.
Right.
Don't fall asleep. All right, we got a big giant snake.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. This has to be the Hutt twins version of a Rancor pit.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
Like this dragon snake or whatever it is from that we've seen from Clone Wars on Nal Hutta, which would, here we're on a different planet now with the Hutts. But this makes me feel like, he doesn't have his helmet. There's a very specific reason why. This makes me think that he gets dropped into this pit, and this like emaciated version of a dragon snake is down in the basement, the same as the Rancor. So he kind of has his like Luke moment, but this just seems, you can see in the back, it has those like Rancor pit vibes with the sewer lines and all of that. So this makes me think, and you see the light source from the top. This makes me think that like looking down, right?
That's cool. I like that.
You just can't see if
I think every scene from this movie should be another scene from Star Wars.
Sure. Sure. Right.
That would make me comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that might actually be the point.
Let's go back to that well and drink out of it.
Yeah, right. Hey, shout out to the Blast Point guys. They took this frame and put a White Snake logo on it. So
hell yeah. Yeah.
Be a great
absolutely
album cover right there, guys, if you're thinking about it. So little Grogu ready for battle. Here's Zeb. And
Messed up.
first look at some OTTKs.
But where is this? Where is this?
Yeah,
Like, where does this
Very
look like?
interesting, like very earthly hallway, right?
This looks like a fancy old hotel. But also like the markings on the door look almost Jedi Hall-ish.
Oh, good call.
It has like a New Republic kind of a vibe to it. I'm sorry, Old Republic kind of a look.
Mhm.
So I don't know. This is interesting, but this makes me also think that, like, again, at this point there are no Jedi. Are there a bunch of temples? There are a bunch of old places where the TKs have where the remnant has holed up. Regardless, I'm here for all the Zeb ass kicking.
Yeah, and we see Zeb holding that bow rifle of his, and he goes through and sort of whacks this dude into next week here. Here's Grogu again. This is a scene where we see an Imperial remnant transport getting blown up and overturned, and half a dozen TKs knocked off of it. Mike, if you remember, we spotted, I believe, this same transport in the teaser, stationary at that point, but
Yeah.
they get it moving at some point and they don't get very far.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's an old school hot rod. It's got very, it almost looks like that 1940s, 1950s kind of a hearse vibe. It's very actually not very Imperial from my perspective of what this looks like, but it seems very retrofit. So this tracks.
Yeah. And here's Zeb. We see Zeb gets a one of those New Republic bomber jacket looks. So he's got a swanky little leather jacket there.
He looks great. He looks amazing. I love that Steve Bloom's getting his moment. You get this just great, hey. So awesome. And it just makes me excited to see a character like this get so much love at this point from an animated series that wasn't even, people talk about Clone Wars like it was like the pinnacle of Star Wars animation, but like he's a Rebels character. I love that.
And he looks so real. I mean, whenever we had sort of some rumblings that we knew that we were going to see Zeb in live action back before Mando season 3, I know a lot of us were thinking like, how in the heck are you going to make a character that looks so cartoony translate into real life? And it looks phenomenal. And it's cool to hear his voice still coming out of the same creature. So the line here is, "Hey, I like that kid." Probably talking about Grogu, I guess.
Dig it.
Here's Din. So I started blasting. Here's where this what we assume now is a droid ship crashing and exploding on this droid planet. Okay, here's a little Easter egg. We have the Mantelian Sabrip escaping from the arena area. Above him is a backlit sign in Arabesh that translates to Weathers Apollo, which of course is a nice little shout out to Carl Weathers and his most famous role of Apollo Creed.
I want you. Yeah, I love this. It's a great way to honor him, especially for the fact that if he still was with us, I'm sure he would have a different role in this movie. But this is a great way to honor the fact that, when Star Wars came back, we were all shocked that they had gotten Carl Weathers to be Grief Karga, right? And continue to play him for all 3 seasons. So it's a really great little detail that most people will miss, but for fans who eat this stuff up and have podcasts about a 2-minute trailer for 45 minutes, this is exactly the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, what if they just dropped different Carl Weathers references in the entire thing? Like maybe Carson and Din see each other for the first time, and Din's like, "You son of a bitch," and then they, right?
He sees. I was gonna say it's like he sees Han Solo. Oh, New Republic's got you pushing too many papers.
Anyways, Baby Rodian, how about that? Didn't have that one on the bingo card. I defy anybody if they did.
Didn't have that. We've seen them in animation a couple times, especially the latest Tales of with Cad Bane. I thought that was pretty great. But this looks like that's one of those prams that has the high speed on it. So it looks like we can thank the Roydian's mom for taking this little bugger out and allowing Grogu to go have his time in this little hot rod.
Oh yeah, you know what? I never clocked that. I guess Grogu does steal this guy's little pram, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Here's the Savrip again, and it looks like the rest of the creatures from the Dejarg table have broken out as well. So this is your classic zoo breakout with all the monsters on the loose. Rodian mom scoops up her baby. Oh yeah, and there it is. I guess that I just wasn't paying attention. Grogu sees the empty pram, jumps in, and then the chase is on. Turns out this thing moves pretty fast, and Din chases after him using the Rising Phoenix, his jetpack. More chasing happening here. We have the Savrip reaching for them as they're arcing past the screen. Of course, Grogu does the between the legs move, and they're still moving through this city scene. Still to be determined where this could possibly be. And here's our title card, Nick's favorite title card.
Oh boy.
The Star Wars, Mandalorian and Grogu. Enjoy it. Love it.
Too late to change it? You think they're settled on that?
Bob Iger's happy with it.
Little coda for this trailer is Grogu with his cookies, and his little macarons, and Din grabs the rest of the pack from him. The line is, "Let's save the rest for after dinner." I mean, you could translate this as sort of a meta line, talking about how this is just a trailer and we're going to save the rest for the movie. Parting shot of Grogu nibbling on that cookie, and then forged for IMAX. We'll be able to see this in IMAX. May 22nd is the release date.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a trailer. All in all, I think my idea of what this is that this movie actually is going to be pretty simple. I think from my perspective, looking at it, we've got the Shadow Collective is either using the Hutts. There's a power vacuum, as we have seen with Star Wars, kind of going back to this idea of like who's in power, right? The Hutts want their own thing, they want their money, their territory. The Shadow Council is like, we just want control, we want to exist, whatever. I think in some ways they're either working with each other or they're working against each other. And Mando is kind of caught in the middle, trying to be either he's working, the Empire hires the Hutts to take Din out or whatever this whole thing is. So I think there's something in here that makes sense where the Empire is working with the Hutts, or the Hutts are it's like which bad guy can get to the top the fastest, and the New Republic is trying to make sure that neither of them get there. That's my working idea between this.
What do you think about the original buyer from Mandalorian season 1? I mean, he's obviously out of the picture, but do you think that there's still value placed on Grogu for the Imperial Remnant for this?
Yeah,
I guess what we would assume is this cloning operation, possibly.
Well, they have it already, and that's why the story moved forward into the sequels. Does that make sense? Like did they get what
does,
they
yeah.
need? Yeah. So maybe that's off the table already, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, I like something along those lines. I guess my next question is, as we theorize here, because we've already broken this down before we wrap up here, how much of this is leading into Ahsoka season 2? How many references are people going to need to get? Or is this just literally a popcorn movie with a post-credit scene where one of them says, "Call Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's on Dathomir"? You know what I mean? Is this Thrawn will return in Doomsday? You know what I mean? Is like what are you guys thinking in terms of like what we've seen here? The timelines seem to be crashing into each other. We seem to be referencing a bunch of stuff that seems like it's both unlocking the story, making it wider, making it bigger, but then also going back to a very Filoni well of Clone Wars references, tie-ins, all of this stuff. It seems so weird to me that they would just go, hey, we're back in the theater, and now you're going to have every experience be either on Disney Plus or Starfighter, which comes out next year, that has nothing to do with any of this. You know, it seems like it's a weird strategy. I'm curious both of your thoughts.
It makes the most sense. I mean, don't you would love continuity for the sake of like having confidence that your brand is like on the track to going somewhere. You want the casual people, whether it's 5% of casual people who go see Mandalorian and Grogu and know or find out that there's a bigger story that has been going on, so they go watch Ahsoka and 3 seasons of Mando, or that there's a new season of Ahsoka coming out. Like, it just makes too much sense for where I think they're at. You know, I think this is for Star Wars, low budget Star Wars movie, that if it makes 400 to 500 million, it's successful. And then they could start to build on that confidence of, we made something most people like, and it's leading to Ahsoka and the future, you know, towards the sequels and beyond. So we'll see. It makes sense for me for it to, you know, I referenced it on the pod before, but I think it should be how like Superman had Peacemaker in it, and Peacemaker was coming out, you know, a couple of months later, and they sort of rushed Superman to streaming, or not rushed, but it was a very good decision to put Superman on HBO like right before Peacemaker was coming out. I feel like it's not a foolproof plan where like millions of people are going to be like, oh wow, but the people who are interested enough to keep up with these things, I think that it would really help them keep their attention. And we're in like an attention economy. So if you could get the couple of people in that reference with Superman, if you get the couple of people who are all of a sudden stoked on Superman and DC to be like, oh, the continuation or the next chapter of this serialized story is Peacemaker, you know? And also, just to go back to Superman, Crypto and Supergirl, you know, like all of this stuff. I feel like the people who are going to eat this stuff up, the more you involve them and give them little crumbs here and there, will just stick around. And that's the best form of marketing. You know, I didn't shut up about Superman all summer last year, you know, because it seemed like it was at the beginning of something, you know, and
Sure.
if this could be the beginning of a new Star Wars, you know, kind of universe, Mandoverse, whatever it is, then I think like that's worth tying a lot of stuff together.
Sure. Jason, what are your thoughts on the universe? I don't know if we call it a universe building or what it seems like.
Sure,
it's
yeah, we can call it universe building. We could call it cultivating your franchise that you've had for 50 years. You know, might as well try to build it out a little bit more. You know, I think that I could see it both ways. What Nick says certainly makes the most sense. I mean, you want to invest back into your own properties and try to get people excited about other stuff that's already, you know, coming down the line. I could also completely see this as being a closed story, a beginning and an end, maybe with a little button on it, like you were talking about with Thrawn. You know, sort of like, you know, whenever the first time that we saw Thanos, you know, just to let people know, you know, this is where this story is going. But yeah, I mean, everything's happening in the same time, as far as, you know, this and Ahsoka are all happening in the same time frame. So it would make sense too, but I don't know that it has to, and it may not. I think I'm preparing myself for it to not.
Sure. I think that makes sense. It's a simple play. You're going, my frustration with this, and we'll talk about this a little bit in the after show, but it's like, you know, if you have just been a casual viewer, you're kind of watching this trailer going, oh, it's Mandalorian fighting the Empire that's supposed to be devastated again, right? This essentially would be the 4th time that we have seen Din Djarin fighting stormtroopers in some regard. So that part of me goes, okay, so leading up to the next part of it has to be something, right? We still have no release date for Ahsoka season 2. That could be later this fall. It could be next year. It could be spring of next year. We have A New Hope coming back to theaters in the despecialized version in February, but then we have Starfighter coming out in after that. So like, there's a part of me that goes, it would be weird to me that we would only do Ahsoka season 2 and wrap up all of this storyline in a Disney Plus show. So something to think about. I still think we're getting Filoni's Avengers, where all the Star Wars characters get together to defeat Thrawn. I still think that's happening. I don't know when. I have no confirmation of that. That's just my thought. So those are my initial.
The only thing that I could see about that, something changing about that, is that maybe Dave Filoni isn't the filmmaker on that.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree.
Very
I'm totally with you on that. So let's get before we wrap up here, because we of course said let's keep it short. It's only a 2-minute trailer. We're thank the makering this thing real hard. Let's get to we got 2 speak pipes going on here, Jason. What do we got?
Yeah, 2 messages from a couple patrons. If you would like to have your message played, you can always check out our Discord. Join the patron community at patreon.com/thankthemakerpod. Here's Courtney.
Hey guys, it's Courtney from the Nashville area. Just want to pop over and say love the pod, big fan, and share my excitement for the Mando and Grogu trailer. That was amazing and beautiful, and I cried, and I'm so excited. This is the way.
This is the way, indeed. I think that is, by and large, the majority of the response that I've seen online today. Yeah, people are pretty happy with it. So the sentiment
is excitement, and honestly, that's refreshing, and I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Here's Amaranth.
This is Natasha, aka Amaranth, from Kansas City, and my thoughts are basically just one long squee, but I am excited for all of the returns, not just of Star Wars to the big screen, including an R2 unit, Razor Crest, an Ardenian with Scorsese's eyebrows and voice, the Shadow Council, Embo, Pedro's face, Hudson General, but stinky and specific, Zeb, cute babies in prams, a Mantelian Savrip, and Return of the Macaron.
Yeah, you didn't think we'd get a Mac Morrison reference on Thank the Maker tonight, but there we go. It happened. Thanks, Amaranth. That's awesome.
Amaranth crushes it. There is something about just when you're going through that list of being like, man, Star Wars is awesome. And though we have our times where we've been, understandably so, looking at the system that we are in which we consume media, from a large global conglomerate to another, it is really great to see the excitement from the fandom happening with this, in my opinion, the most important character to come out in Star Wars since Rey Skywalker, Grogu, Mando. They are the franchise for a lot of people at this point, especially for younger viewers. So I hope we keep this excitement going. Bring your kids, make them love Star Wars. If you're a 501st trooper, I know elections end tonight. Troop, dust out. If you haven't been to a troop last year, or you haven't been to a troop, get out there and show up and flood those movie theaters and make people feel excited about it, because that's what it feels like right now. And I think that is awesome.
Right on. All right. I think we made a podcast. Nick, I think we're about a month away from something really fun happening in Chicago. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Chicago and Orlando. We got Orlando, Mosh Isley, March 21st. Chicago, Mosh Isley, March 28th. So tickets are on sale for those. Merch bundles are on sale. Crazy to say. It's a month away.
Yeah, C2E2 and MegaCon, both going to be exciting. Roosevelt's is going to be there. They've got great exclusives at both, and they'll be out in full force. It'll be a lot of fun. The excitement for a lot of people, of course, is being able to see each other again after, I think the last time we were all able to be with each other was
San Diego. Right?
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego, yeah.
Dang.
It's been since July. Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go. I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Chicago, it's our first time there. Chicago's one of the best cities in the country. Love it. So it's great to finally be able to do a mosh there.
And Nick, tell us a little bit. You have you're going on tour.
Oh yeah, I guess since the last time we recorded,
Let's talk about your day job real quick.
so we are going for the first time since I think 2011. We will be on tour at Taking Back Sunday in June. So we actually are with them in the UK at Slam Dunk Festival at the end of May. Fly directly home to the East Coast of the United States and do a little tour with them. So all those dates are on sale. It's, to this day, that first Taking Back Sunday tour we did, it was the Tell All Your Friends 10th anniversary tour.
It's awesome.
That far back
awesome.
of that album being 10 at that point.
Well, I just saw Jimmy World doing 25 years of Bleed American. I'm like, wow, this is what every 5 years you're going to be able to hear your favorite album again, which honestly, I'm not complaining.
I mean, it's kind of what the market dictates, right? So yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a tour. It's a bit of a non-primary market tour though. So there's a lot of people who don't get to see shows who are very lucky that we're coming to the Jupiter, Floridas, and where else? There's like 2 South Carolina shows, Myrtle Beach. There's places that we've either never played or maybe played once in our career. So either you're traveling or you live in one of those cities and you're really lucky that there's some bands coming through that to a city where normally there wouldn't be shows. So it's going to be great. I'm super excited. And then we'll see what the rest of the year.
Oh, you're going to be at Warped Tour.
Forgot about that too. We announced Warped Tour today. So
Nick, we are your biggest fan. Just let us be fans.
I'm just not. Yeah, thank goodness, because I am not in tour mode right now. I'm very much in off the road. We're writing music. That's where my brain is when it comes to Bayside. So yeah.
Well, we're excited to see you this summer. We love you.
We're great. Which one? Where are you coming? What did you decide? Which show to go to? Royal Oak?
I haven't decided yet. I'm at the top of the Midwest. I have access to all of the Midwest, but it just all takes 8 hours to get there. So we'll figure it out. I feel like we can get to this point. Maybe we'll talk about it in Mosh Isley in Chicago or Orlando. We'll see. Great show. Thank you guys. I love you. And it feels good to have Star Wars back on the calendar. This is awesome.
We're back, baby.
Good feeling, baby. May the force be with you.
Thank the Maker is produced by Adam Russell and Jason Chiodo and edited by Jason Chiodo. If you enjoy the podcast, you can support us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Or you can support us directly at patreon.com/thankthemakerpod, where you can get access to our Discord server, exclusive content, exclusive merch, and more. Our patrons literally make Thank the Maker possible.